Okay. Hello. Sorry, I'm a little red with the light. I'm going to talk like this. It's easier for me. But I am a person in Canada who is autistic, has a certain special interest in storytelling and creative story writing. I worked in theater for a while. So that's my background. I do production stuff now. I don't because I can't afford to even work in my own field. But anyway, that's my background. I have this backup account in order to help with what's going on in Palestine. But we all know, at least if you're in Canada, that there is a situation happening because of what is happening in the US. And I believe that we are next on the chopping block of dismantling our system, which is happening and has been happening for a while. And I have figured out a way that can be helpful for anyone at any educational level. But it's I have to explain it in a very long, lengthy way in order for you to help me spread this information so that people who are affected by all of this can get help. So, like I said, I'm autistic, and I basically had to learn for myself mental health and the effects of abuse on my mind, and how I try to combat being gaslit from my parents and relationships. I had to make sure I grounded myself in reality. And how I did that was basically sort of this mantra of I know what I know and I know what I don't know. And I know that I was abused. I have a lived experience. I have terrible memory now because what I remember is not what other people say they remember. And of course not, because they have their own lived experience. Everyone has their own point of view. However, there are dangerous point of views, and that's why we're supposed to have laws that protect that. But there is a lot of moving parts that undermining this. And all of us, in some way, understands that there's something happening, and it is a fascist movement. And so what is happening in Palestine, what's happening in the US, what's happening in Canada, what's happening in the UK, what's happening everywhere, people are not able to ground themselves in reality. And so I am giving you this tool to use so that if you have people in your life who is indoctrinated by hate groups, and it's hard for them to understand, I need you to ground yourself in what you know, and not by your lived experience, and not what you were taught to know. So I have a learning disability. Part of it was neglect, and part of it is just how my brain works. So I couldn't read or write. It was very hard. I wanted to be really smart, but I just had a really hard time with the reading and writing, and then comprehending what I'm reading. And because I didn't have a lot of people helping me in my life, I had to figure it out on my own. However, in my lifetime, I'm a 90s kid. There was a push for diversity in Canada, because that is something that we wanted, because all of us come from some sort of war-torn country, and we understand that hate is dangerous because then genocide happens. So a lot of people have a lot of parents, grandparents, children, whoever believes that liberals and people who try and care for people, we might not always get it right, but we try and care, are bad, are evil, are the devil, whatever symbol you want, to make it out that we are the bad guys. And it's very hard to make someone understand that all you're trying to do is care for them. That's how cults work. That's how fascism works. That's how indoctrination works. And because all our parents, mine, because I came from the 90s, was when we started to have America media in Canada. Before, it used to be mostly things that come from Europe or Australia, not Africa. I don't think we had a lot of Asian sort of media back then, but we have a lot of Chinese Canadians here. Since at least one of my parents' grandparents was. And so that's why I was always so confused why Americans were so hell-bent in saying that the Chinese are evil. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, the Chinese Canadians here are pretty cool. And when Chinese people come to Canada, they're pretty cool. They got great food. Why are we worried? And I swear to you, I didn't see anything. But that's because my brain works in a way where it's like I have to be grounded in my lived experience, because my lived experience tells me that people are not that bad. People can be dumb, but people are not bad. And so in Canada, because we embrace our diversity and it's the thing that makes us who we are, it is also our strength. And because in America, they fight fascism differently than us, there's a lot of people in behind the scenes who are trying in different approaches to combat this, because this is so complicated that not one little tool can help. But I believe my tool can help, because there are a lot of people who are not educated in the way that a lot of people who are in government, who are in some advocacies, who don't understand that you have to talk to people like people, and not like medical terminology. All these buzzwords of psychology is great if you have a educated background. For people who don't, it sounds like gobbledygook, and that's why they make fun of it, because it sounds stupid. You gotta talk to them to a level that is grounded in your lived experience. You don't tell them the facts. You don't tell them the logic. You don't tell them what you know from history. You tell them what you know to be true. I saw on a video, was it Gabber There was a person saying the same hateful stuff that I have heard before, speaking to with the indigenous people in Canada. They're animals. I've heard that before. That is a red flag, and if you ever hear someone say that human is an animal, that is a warning to say that something bad is going to happen. Because when people start saying things like that, that is not a good thing. Now, for people who are young, I want you to understand it's okay if you didn't see this coming, because this was happening even before I was a kid. And we are like in the end of this huge long drama that has impacted all our generations that are living today. And so this is my tool to you, if you want to use it in order to communicate with your parents in hopes to try and bridge the gap. I give it to you. And if you want questions, please let me know.